sitting up there looking at y'all. Who denies it? Who denies God is sitting up there? Come on. I'm going to get y'all. Come on, here we go. Y'all are hypocrites. Because y'all believe God is omnipresent. And the moment that he's over there, y'all say he ain't. You see, you believe he's omnipresent. You believe God to be everywhere. But just because I'm saying he's over there, no, he's not. But you know what? All over the world, people go to places like South America because someone says there's a statue of Mary crying. And people pack up their bags and run to South America and look and see condensation and fall down and start praying because they feel that God's mother, who didn't believe in him, had confined herself to the one statue in this one town, this one village, and they sit out there and have candles. They go, Jesus, love. Jesus ain't here. Mary's here, not Jesus. They read about it, and they really believe that something took place there. Now I say, God's up on that thing up there. He waved to me. Y'all don't see him wave? You know why y'all don't see him wave? I'm going to tell you why. Because y'all don't have him in your heart. See? This is the game. See, in order for you to have seen him wave, you would have to have been saved. You would have to have had him in you. See, he would have to have been down inside your heart. He would have to move around you and up inside you. Lord Jesus. You ain't got the Holy Ghost, so you can't see him. But I'm in touch with God. You see the game? And we can't get under it beating ourselves up. We got to get from under that crap. God is sitting up there. Oh, he's sitting right up there. That's it. Do you see him? Is he there? Where isn't he? Where isn't God? Then God is up there. And God is here and there and there and there and there and there and there. That's where God is at. So there's no place where God isn't. The people that bother me are the people that are trying to put God someplace. Our Father, who art in heaven. God can't fit inside heaven. God has a throne. God don't have a seat. Well, that's a metaphor towards heaven. God can't be in heaven. God can't be in and be God. You understand that? And that is a subliminal attack on your conscious and your subconscious that makes you misinterpret God as a being that exists. The love force, the harmony, the beauty, the concern. That's God. Now, where is God? The question should be, where isn't God? Not where is God, because God can't be any place. God can't be any person. God can't be anything. But God can be. You follow that? And all of us are in God. Now, is God in us? Only if we are in God. Otherwise, to separate and take a portion of stuff that's inside there is putting them in a person, place, and a thing. That's what they don't want us to grasp. They want to give us the supreme being concept, and when we start to question, they make it a son, so we can have a focal point. And then that son is an image they want to put in our mind, and then that relates to the people that look like the image. And it's all over. You follow? If I come along and say Jesus is black, I'm a racist. That's the wrong thing to say. That's the wrong thing to do. Now let me answer the question. Are these the faces of the real people? Yes. Yes. That's it. Now, when you ask me, how can I prove it? I can't. I don't have to. You understand? The burden of proof is on you to bring me their real faces if that's not them. See, I beat you to the punch. You got what I'm saying? I don't have to prove that that's not Abraham. You have to bring me the picture of Abraham. And then show me, and then tell me, I'm at you. No. This is Abraham. You know what I'm saying? No, this is Abraham. No, this is Abraham. This is Abraham. This is Abraham. That's it. See, that's what happened with the Mormons, with the Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Baptists. They all got a different Jesus. Will the real Jesus please stand up? So all of y'all, you have to get rid of all their images. The only way to make people get rid of all the images is to come out with images that they don't like to see. See, as long as you're doing it to me, it's cool. When I do it back to you, how does it feel? I'm saying, I say, no, Columbus didn't discover America, Rodney did. Who's Rodney? See, Rodney sailed before Columbus. He came from Africa. He sailed around this way. It was Rodney and Umfufu and Mustafa, yeah, and Mustafa. They came here first. They were here. When Columbus came, they were the ones that said, how you doing, Columbus? Prove it's not true. You understand? The burden of proof. People will have to, what? What do they have to do? They'll have to start presenting the facts when you put them before us. If you don't ever put anything up there to us, when you start saying, prove it, prove Jesus existed, prove it. What have we found out, you Wapians? When you ask people to prove that a man named Jesus existed, give me proof. What have they done? They can't prove it. So show me something that the rabbis from any other village, anybody around Jerusalem, anything, anywhere where anybody can prove it. They can't do it. And they get mad at you. Because they never were asked questions like this before. That's what Daniel said in Daniel 7. In the end time, knowledge will become abundant. So wisdom is going to come out of the mouth of babes. Forget the Pharisees and the reverend and the smart ass. It's going to be the meek that shall dumbfound the wise. You hear me? Yeah, go ahead, brother man.
What exactly is manic depression?
What is a manic depression?
Manic depression. And how can it be alleviated?
Well, Beethoven give terms to incidents in people's life. You can have certain chromosomes or chemical defects that affect the fluid of the brain and make you schizophrenic. There's different things. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a doctor or an MD, and I won't try to prescribe anything to anybody. But if you do some research, you find that a lot of chemical imbalances are responsible for a lot of people who they classify as mentally disturbed, throw them into a clinic, pump them down with lithium, and leave them there. You follow it, and that's it. I can't sit here unless I know the patient and talk to the patient and find out what stirred it, know about their blood, know about their family, their mother, their father, before a person can really go into what can make him react a certain way.
Can it be chemically induced?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, it can be.
So,
someone could inject you and send you crazy. That's what you're saying?
Or some other type of chemical inducement, like somebody could put something in somebody's drink, or do they always have to be driven to it?
I don't want to say for sure, but I've heard of there's things that you can put, but it's only temporary. You follow? Because your body has a built-in mechanism to defend itself against most aliens. Entities. Within a certain amount of weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, your body damn near rebuilds itself against anything.
So is it possible after that type of inducement, if that's what happened to the person, could they make a full recovery, or are they going to be damaged for life?
It depends on what happens to them while they're in the hospital and what type of medication they put them on and how much medication they give them. That's where the danger comes in, is when they get people addicted to things like lithium and tell them if they don't take a certain amount of this and a certain amount of this, they're going to regress. That's what happens. You follow? All right, you folks. Go ahead, keep going.
That arises from you saying that now. That's cleared up. But what about, okay, you gave us a picture of the Most High.
Anu.
Anu,
right.
The Most High. You gave us a picture of him, that being his title. Now, I'm speaking for myself. I don't know if anybody has ever seen them or is him or whatever they want to believe.
Right.
But I have never come in contact with this being.
Right.
So that would therefore still put me in a belief state.
Right.
I'm believing that this being I knew exists. I have no contact with him.
Correct.
So my question is, how can you question the existence of this person?
You should question existence because you haven't had the experience. You should. I'm saying don't accept that that's a picture of a new. But listen to this. If Michelangelo can paint an image of God, you follow that? And then you read a book because Board of Education demands that you do, and he stamps in your mind that image of God, regardless of what I tell you about the Most High and the Supreme Being. I'll just make it clear to you, so you can see what I'm saying. Alright, listen to this. We do this all the time, right? You with me? I want everybody here to say Jehovah. Good. Very strong. Elohim. Elohim. Good. What picture do you see in your mind of a person or persons when you say Elohim? Don't lie. None. Ready? Michael Jordan. What? Do you see somebody in your mind? You see a human being, don't you? Now, when Michelangelo does the Michael Jordan and wear force to still do, he is now implanting an image in our mind that regardless of where we are and what we do, we will always reflect back on God as Michelangelo drew it. Why do this here? You see that thing where you see the picture right of the hand where the hands meet? Like this here? That's in my mind. I get this impression now. Watch this. God. You start getting the first thing is an older man with a voice like this. I am God. That's what 20th Century Fox and most of the movie industries have done. They gave God a voice. And he usually has a British accent, even with movies shot in America. If he's going to speak English, he got to speak the Queen's because God speaks with a dialect. Now, whether that was thought out, I don't know, but the reality is God has a voice. God has a hand. His son, see that? God's son, who is that? Would somebody describe Jesus for me, from what you know in your mind? But was anybody here a Christian? All y'all Christians? Could you describe Jesus who was on your grandmother's wall? Okay, you're not now, okay. Well, I'm still a Christian. So, for me, could you describe the picture of your grandmother having on the wall?
He had like dark brown hair, blue eyes, pale looking, white robe. He had like...
Was he doing this?
Yes.
Was he doing this? Was he doing this?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't just give us a face, they also gave us choreography. Yeah, he has certain things he does. And now, when you see the Pope knows the choreography. So the Pope goes by and does this. And when he does this, what comes to our mind is we superimpose Jesus Christ over the Pope so we don't look at his, how old and decrepit he's starting to become. We do, and we see in our mind's eye the image that Michelangelo or whomever. Now the Jehovah's Witness, if you open their books, like the sister said, they have their own drawing of Jesus. Jesus doesn't have shoulder-length hair. In the Jehovah's Witness books, he has a nice haircut. I don't know when he gets his hair cut, but he got a nice haircut. He has a Midian, it's called a Midian trim according to Torah. When you wear your beard like this, slight mustache, that's a specific beard. It represents a specific culture. It's called a Midian trim as opposed to the big beard. Jesus wears a Midian trim. So Jesus, according to Jehovah's Witnesses, goes to a barber. Somebody cuts Jesus' hair. You got the drift? God is infallible, but scissors can cut his hair. Did Jesus have to cut his nails in the 33 years he lived? Did Jesus sit down and eat? What's one of the things Jesus ate? What's that? What else? When he got to the upper room, he said, I want some meat. Jesus ate some animal that he created. Jesus had a lamb, piece of lamb. Let's say curry. Let's say it was maker. He had a curry lamb. You see what they've done? First they give you this God supreme being complex, and then they slowly but surely give you what they call anthropomorphism, where they lay things over it, and it slowly says God has a hand. God is watching you in God's heart. God spoke through his lips, the face of God. God listened, the hip of God. Moses saw the back of God as Moses was coming up to Mount Sinai. God was turning the corner. It says in the Bible, he saw the backside of God. God had a lump. You understand what I'm saying? After they've given us this supreme being thing, then they slowly but surely take it apart in our minds. So we're confused. So if I'm a Baptist, I got a concept of God as a Baptist. The Mormons have a different picture of God. And what the Mormons do while they're putting God up there, they're also putting Joseph Smith. While they're putting God there, they got Joseph Smith holding the book doing his hair too. In their church. And his book is the Book of the Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Bible. So they give you the Bible, and then they pull you in with that Bible, and as they're getting you in, they're doing this. And then they whoo. The Muslims do the same thing. The Muslims lower you with the Quran, and as you're coming close, this hadith is coming like this. And when you get there, you're going to learn. The Quran goes in the box, and next thing everything is about hadith this, sunnah this, Muhammad did this. The importance, sister, of having faces. People say, why do you draw Abraham? I draw everybody who I see. Say, how do I know you see them? You don't, so don't believe me. Right? You don't. Now, Abraham. You get a picture? Isaac, did you get a picture? Moses, did you get a picture? Muhammad, did you get a picture? I'm Michelangelo now, how does it feel? You know what I'm saying? How does it feel to do that to people? For you to take it upon yourself to personify God and angels, because there are angels all over the Catholic Church with wings like this. You know, to personify God, give him characteristics, and nobody questions it. And if I do it, you come to me and say, how you know Abraham looked like that? I was saying, excuse me, did you go to church and ask them how they know Jesus looked like that? Well, when I do it as a question, everybody else, the Muslims had a fit when I did a picture of Muhammad. They were like, oh my God, Allahu Akbar, boom. That nigga was bugging. And I was like, so I'm supposed to wait until y'all draw an Arab version of Muhammad, and then I gotta teach my son, that's Muhammad. But I'm supposed to wait for you to do that. And no. If I insult you, I'm sorry. No, I ain't doing that. Image is important. It's important for character building. And damn it, if I live in America for 400 years and don't know the images with any good character reflect me, how the hell do you expect my kids to improve? How do you expect them to start feeling good about themselves when all the characters reflected about me is bad? Even Michael Jordan, with all the ridiculous hidden thing about his father's death. Right? Even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, staying in basketball for a minute. With all he did, there's still that thing about the Washington Hamas group that he belonged to, that held Washington under. Sammy Davis Jr. had an affair, but they had to destroy his character. You understand? They had to destroy George Washington's character. They had to say, oh, George Washington had wooden teeth, traded slaves for liquor, he was an alcoholic. What's this crap with destroying characters? You know what it does? It leaves room to place in divinity of my choice. Whoever's controlling. You follow that? Here's some good ones for you. Mickey Mouse. How many people know what Mickey Mouse looks like? If you are under 35 years old, you don't know what Mickey Mouse looks like. You know the new Mickey Mouse. When we was kids, there was a different Mickey Mouse. The one that got Disney World is not Mickey Mouse. That's a new guy. Who knows Betty Boop? Tell me about Popeye. The one they put in the movie is not the original Popeye, and Olive Oyl and Pluto. And who was the one who said, for a burger today, I'd gladly pay you tomorrow. Look what they did to Mr. Magoo. They've taken Mr. Magoo from a cartoon character and made him a person. Now when I say Mr. Magoo, I no longer see the cartoon. When I say Betty Boop, I know. When I say Popeye, when I say Batman, when I say Superman, I see Christopher Reeve. And there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with taking the primordial, the images of the people that only look like one race of people. That's wrong. In a world where there's so much racial tension, that's wrong, and it's not even logical, because it breeds danger. No, first Bart's had afros. Because Bart Simpson was invented by a Negro. Did y'all know that? Yeah. And then he was brought out. Why? Why was it necessary to change him? Why couldn't he just leave the character? But I miss Michael Jackson. He cut off his nose. Minnie Riperton. Richard Pryor. Drugs. Go ahead, Bill Cosby, his son. Nat King Cole died because he came down south. He had throat cancer. Came out one of my favorite artists. Came out the hospital because they wanted him to do a show down south. And when he got on the stage, Klan members threw bottles at him, knocked him unconscious. He went back in the hospital, and the doctor said, this is to get his state. He could have lived, but he was heartbroken and didn't want to live. Go check the story. He touched a very sensitive one there. He killed himself. That's how hurt he was. Do you know that people down south didn't like Elvis Presley? Did you know that? Elvis Presley was a nigger. He moved too much, they said, too much hip acting, too much of this stuff. And they did not like him until he was dead. That's another thing. They eulogize you when you're dead. Talk about all the good things you did and how nice you were. When even President Kennedy, after he was dead, oh, he was having an affair with Marilyn Monroe. He was hanged up with his brother Bobby was involved with the mafia. Marcus Garvey. What did they do to him? Does anybody know what they did to Marcus Garvey? Huh? They murdered him. Why? What's the image? Are you guys, when y'all have your first child, are you going to put Marcus Garvey's picture up on the wall and tell your kids, this was Marcus Garvey, he's a great man? Huh? Are you going to put Haile Selassie up on the wall? Why not? He's the Lion of Judah. Yes, it does. We're Jamaican. You see how we did? You see what they did? That was it right there. We think all Jamaicans are Rastafarians, all Jamaicans act now like that's part of I know it's not true. But the bottom line is that's what we believe, because that's what's been taught to us. In fact, when we see a black person who says they're a Muslim, the first thing that comes to our mind is, are you a black Muslim? Someone knocks on your door on Sunday morning with a suit on and says, no, I ain't sitting in Jehovah's Witness. No, I'm not a Jehovah's, I'm your uncle. What have they done to our minds? You've got to go into why it's important to become Michelangelo in this day and time. For everybody. To rid this subliminal seduction. I can't. That's the thing I'm telling you. That's what I can't do. That's what's sad. I can't erase what Michelangelo did. But I can get there before the Mohammedans do. See, the Mohammedans set out to come to America to convert Americans to Islam. I know, because I'm one of them. He came here as an Arab to convert people. If I'm saying to Islam, and part of that plan, right, was to implant and Arabicize you. And that would remove the Americanism out of you and make it easy for you not to care about where you're standing when I'm throwing bombs at your ass. That's all part of the Arab plan. And that's why they wanted to kill me when I put out a picture of Muhammad. Because they didn't get a chance to put their image in their heads first. I beat them to it. And I said, this is what Muhammad looked like. And I said, Muhammad is not he's not a, you say he's not a what? Nigger? You want to say? I thought there was no racism in Islam. Well, does it make a difference? And he said, well, nobody knows what Muhammad looks like. And I said, I do. He said, how do you know? He came to me. Now, if they say no, it means he's dead. He came to me and he spoke to me and said, I want my picture known. I want people to know what I look like. I don't want people to mix it up. Listen to what I'm doing right now. Christians, is Jesus dead or alive according to Christianity? He's alive according to Christians, sitting on the right-hand side of God in heaven, and he visits preachers periodically and talks to their heart. Well, Jesus visited me and talked to me and told me to draw a picture of him. So, because he said, the picture they got out of me is not me. Doc, I know you can draw. I want you to draw the picture. He stood down, he sat down in the chair, he did like this. I took my pen and I went, hold still. After about 2 hours, Jesus got tired and asked me, could he sit down? Threw me off, of course. God got tired.